So, okay, we're with Grandma Smith, and she's going to tell us about how her grandmother came to America, possibly as much as she can remember or knows of the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So, tell us what you were saying.
Well, she was brought over by a guardian, and she was even an orphan or belonged to somebody until she was a certain age, and the guardian was that brought her back, that brought her to the United States. It was quite a bit older than she. I don't remember his name. I should know it. Anyway, and so he married her when they got over here. So his mother had a daughter named Rose. And Rose was a very lovable person. I knew my Aunt Rose. Anyway, then somehow, I don't know how, my grandmother met my grandfather, my father, the father, the Dubrow. So she met with Dubrow, and they were married and had my dad. And he and Rose are half brothers. They have the same mother. They're half brother and half sister. And my daughter, that's my Aunt Rose had a daughter, my cousin Helen, and Helen was a beautiful, bright girl. Helen, she's the one who knows more of the story about the pair. Anyway, she knows more of the story. And not only that, her kids, that Roger Wood, who is Helen's son, now you're getting more and more. Helen's son, he knows a lot. So if you meet Roger, he might even know more about.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, but all I know is that too, and I don't know how my grandfather and his two brothers, who was another one who lived in Columbus, can't think of his first name, and another one that went out west, and his name was Fred also. I don't know how they got in the country the first time. I have no idea if they did it legally or illegally, or I have no idea. But I do know that when my father was growing up, and then definitely my grandfather was a legal citizen in the United States by that time, he went over to Germany and brought back his father. And there's a picture somewhere of him with my dad in the...
And what's his name?
His name was Fritz, I thought. Anyway.
So your grandfather's name was what?
It was my grandfather's.
You don't remember your grandfather's name?
My grandfather was Frank. They called him Frank.
Dubrow?
Dubrow.
And he went over and brought his
own father.
Oh, his own father.
His
so that would have been your great grandfather.
Yeah, which would be, and there's a picture there. And that's the only reason I know that. And there's a picture there of him. And he's the one who tells the story that Dubrow was French. And they changed the name when they left France.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's where that story comes from. And that this French guy had a Spanish wife. So that's the story.
The French
he brought that
grandfather.
He brought that story over And the other Germans said he was goofy. But they never heard that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Americans that lived here believed it. And they also said, you know, why would somebody say they had a Spanish wife if they left France? Then most people would say they just left France with some Frenchman, I think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's not logical. Spanish wife is not a logical member to go to what you think about. Anyway, well, so now when we find that David investigates the genealogy, we find out they're Spanish. So somebody had a Spanish wife.
That's right.
Okay. Anyway, so that part we know, and my cousin, my Aunt Rose, and my dad, and if you look in the Cleveland, you can look that stuff up. There.
Cleveland genealogy.
Yeah, you can look up every day they have a census, because I investigated this. The family lived together. My dad, his sister, my Aunt Rose.
And Aunt Rose is a half aunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they all lived together in the same house.
In Cleveland.
Yeah, in Cleveland. Yeah. So there's more to that, but.
Well, that's a nice story.
Yeah.